A group of homeowners, some in the Gridley area, say the same couple is house hopping without paying.
Well, Action News Now reporter Chloe Curtis spoke to the owners and local law enforcement as well about what's being done to help.
They moved in, immediately quit making any rent payments.
Norm Lassard has lived in Gridley for about 20 years, renting out properties like this one for many of those years. He says a couple that lived here briefly in 2018 were the most challenging tenants he's ever had.
Norm not only lost thousands of dollars in rent, but had to go through a formal eviction process to get those people out.
He says that process took about 2.5 months, but tells me the day before Butte County Sheriff's deputies were supposed to show up to evict them, the couple moved out. And in the years after that, Lassard says he's been contacted by other landlords in the county who've had a similar experience with the same couple.
Norm says before those tenants moved out, they not only caused significant damage inside the home, but ran up the utility bill.
He shared these pictures of the damage with me.
They destroyed all the carpets in the house. There was feces in the rooms. There were holes in the walls. There was trash left everywhere.
The repairs costing thousands.
There was just a lot of work to be done to get it back up to a standard to be able to rent again.
How much out of pocket was that for you?
I probably lost about $6,500, $7,000 in rent, another, I think about $2,500 in utilities, and probably about another $4,000 or $5,000 of repairs.
So how did the couple get away with this and stay in the home for months without paying rent? Lassard says part of the reason is while there was no written agreement made between both parties, there was a verbal agreement. Lassard says the couple claimed hard times and that his wife knew them from school. The landlords took them at their word, but when the tenants' word fell through, though, the tenants still took their time to get out and didn't pay rent.
They milked the verbal agreement, they milked the tenancy laws, they milked our goodwill from my family, they milked a lot of things.
Gridley Police Chief Rodney Haar told me landlord-tenant cases have gotten increasingly difficult to tackle, as most are considered a civil matter to go through the courts. Chief Haar says as of January 1st, new laws make it nearly impossible to evict people for a variety of reasons, including calls to law enforcement, suspected criminal activity, or alleged nuisance activity.
Not just Gridley, it's throughout the state of California. The laws are not very owner-friendly.
Lassard eventually got the couple out of his home, but other landlords in the city tell me that couple did the same thing to them. Law enforcement telling them their hands were tied due to tenant rights when the landlords called trying to get them out for not paying rent. One woman I talked to says the couple moved into her property in Biggs without a lease. She went to police and was also told she had to handle this as a civil matter in the courts. Lassard hoping that sharing his story will stop this from happening to others.
Be more diligent in documenting everything, do the backgrounds, whether they're friends or not, make sure you follow protocol.
The city and police department tells me it is looking to form a workshop to help educate the public on landlord and tenant rights, especially after several new housing laws went into effect in California on January 1st. In Gridley, Chloe Curtis, Action News Now, coverage you can count on.
Gridley police say some ways to protect yourself as a landlord include having written agreements and making sure your rental application forms are up to date with current laws.